What's going on, everyone? Tonight we're going to talk about author and Punisher King Yosef and Black Magnet. This was like February 27th to 28th over at Sonia in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Industrial, as I've said time and time again, has a special spot in my heart. It's probably one of my absolute favorite things musically. Although, like, you wouldn't know by the amount of just like metal I listen to. Compared to industrial, so it's always nice when I get to like go back and treat myself to one of these, and I know there's no shortage. Well, there's probably a little bit of a shortage, but I know that's something I have to work on myself. So anyway, Black Magnet, I guess a local Cambridge area, Boston area band. I didn't know about them, and the little blurbs say stuff like, oh, they sound like Nine Inch Nails or Ministry or Skinny Puppy, but to me it was more of a Rob Zombie meets Gravity Kills kind of thing. Kind of pacing wise a little bit faster. And it had almost like a bit of punk attitude in that it wasn't, how do I say this? It was just like kind of raw and not overly clean, if that makes sense. Definitely some attitude on stage, which is great. I love it. So they were really enjoyable. I would like to see them in an instance where they didn't have to like be the openers, like, come on, play your stuff, get off, right? It was no frills, which is great, but like I want a little bit more. And that wasn't obviously their fault. That's just part of the setup. But yeah, so Black Magnet, really cool 4-piece. It's like metal with a little, like I said, a little like kind of punk attitude, and then some like industrial layering and sampling and stuff. So I would definitely see them again. And I guess King Yosef, who came on after, said that like they were the first band he got to play with when he came out this way. So that's cool. And King Yosef, if you've watched my other reviews with him, first time I got to see him with Converge, that there was something about the tech part of like the sounds and stuff that was just off, and for me it wasn't a good experience. But then when I saw them with Pixel Grip, it was much better, and so it like changed my perspective with him, and that carried over into this show, which was great because like really warm reception from the crowd, like definitely on the up and up. So getting to tour with big bands as like the direct support. And it'll be interesting when King Yosef hits that point where he does his headlining stuff, kind of who he goes with. I think that'll be not a make or break thing, but I think it'll be a significant representation of kind of elements of his future. And I think the other thing that was cool about this night is the lighting seemed to work better for him than the other venues I'd seen him in, because he's got his own kind of pacing and timing and stuff in his songs, and pretty straightforward lighting. Not a lot of crap, but it didn't really seem to work before. I think this was just the right size venue for the lighting that he's trying to like utilize. So that was cool. The new stuff, right? I think he just put out an album a month ago, Spire of Fear. Played, I don't know, a handful of songs off of that. Sounded really good, like definitely King Yosef, but a little bit heavier probably. Got the crowd moshing, which is great. And yeah, just did his thing, put on a good set. Looked like some of the new merch was pretty cool. So yeah. And then, of course, we'll bring us to Author and Punisher. So this was a little bit of a mixed bag. This guy, he created a lot of his own tools. I won't call them instruments exactly. So he's got this, like, I don't even know what it is, but it's basically this thing where he, doing a great job here. Basically, he's got a contraption that looks kind of like he's pushing this like lever thing, and it'll like replicate the drum sounds, but different types of drums. So it's like programmed really well. He's got something that spins that was doing different things. He's got these two different kind of like like board microphones that one of them had like 3 different receivers that did different things, and one of them almost just looked like a piece of plastic but had different effects on it. So all this really cool stuff, and he happened to do this show, I guess this tour, with a live guitarist, so it's like not just him. And he did cover of Portishead's Glory Box, which I love Portishead. They're one of my top bands. So that was great because, you know, Portishead is a hard band to do covers on. Their sounds are so distinct. So if you're going to do a cover, you have to like do it well. And I wasn't blown away by the cover, but I was happy to see it. His set was pretty straightforward, had a lot of good, like, kind of strobe lighting, different colors to kind of go with the atmosphere. My only real complaint about Author and Punisher is he was up a little bit, right? The stage is up a little bit. So, like, you didn't really get to see, at least if you were up front, you didn't get to, like, see the tools that he had created. So it was a little, like, you could tell he was, like, pushing this and doing this, but you didn't get to see it. So it would have almost been better, like, if he was set up down on the floor and we were all around him. I feel like for me, that would have made it just a bit more immersive into like this thing he created. So crowd definitely loved him. And I know that he, right, in his kind of short career, okay, I don't want to say short career, but in a short period of time, it seems like he's had this like pretty big boost of kind of popularity, if you can use that word without it being a negative. So it'll be really cool to see where he goes next. So, you know, I would have liked a little bit more energy. We were very much just a group of people standing around watching a musician, which, right, that's what a concert is, but it didn't feel like we weren't doing that, if that makes sense. Like, there was no immersion, there was no kind of like close your eyes and drift away into this. So for me, that's an important factor, right? I'm there because I want to not escape reality. I just want a different experience of it that musicians tend to deliver. And so I don't know, maybe it was just me, but it very much felt like, okay, we're people here watching a thing. And okay, I guess like that element of kind of like magic and absorption wasn't there for me that night. There's also this one person who kept just really loud, like high-pitched screaming, sometimes randomly. That was like, right, like we have earplugs in, and it was kind of like intrusive and painful. So that may have had something to do with it also. But overall, it was a good night of different layers and different approaches to industrial music. And I'm personally hoping that we get to see more artists like this continue and grow and so on. So I'll link some of the videos down below. I didn't take a ton of footage, but yeah, check them out. Let me know what you think. And yeah, so I think my next show is in a couple days. I believe it's cognitive death metal, and then a few like local bands. I think Cognitive is doing like a one-off night from the tour that they're on. And yes, and that'll be in Albany. And then following that is a bunch of local bands from like the general area who have come together for a show, and that'll also be in Albany. So hope you're doing well. Hope you're getting your winter thaw going, and see you soon. Maybe, I don't know.